Well, morning everybody. I've just managed to pop down to the greenhouse this morning. This is my first outing for nearly a month. I'm trying to get a little check on the leeks to see how they're growing. Unfortunately, after my accident, I haven't been able to get too much done, but bless her, the wife's been down trying to do a little bit of watering for us, and where necessary. As I say, I haven't managed to keep an eye on the heat or the light, so it's I'm just going to be taking potluck bits here. I know I'm way behind. I have my leeks potted up in 5-inch pots by now, but with the being really cold, and I haven't had my secondary heating done, so I've just had to rely on just my heat tube that's been on throughout the winter. As I say, it's been really cold the last couple of weeks here, and I think temperatures have really dropped down. Even today with the heater on, it's only reading 52 on the thermometer. But I'm quite happy with that. I like to have it around about the 50-55 mark. I'm quite pleased with that. These are the Paul Rochester leeks. The reason coming down this morning, I've had a struggle down, is I really wanted to nick the button and get them pulled back. They've grown away quite well. Not as big as what I had hoped, but as I say, I haven't really spent any time on them at all. And as I say, the reason being down today is to try and get on and get these buttons nicked, which I've done, and hopefully they'll start pulling away. They're looking a bit raggedy at the moment, but as I say, there's always next year. I've had a bad time the last couple of months after breaking my leg. I've really struggled to get back on top, but hopefully this month it's a new year, so it's hopefully it'll all change. We'll get stuck in and get cracking. One of my second reason to come down this morning, of course, into the greenhouse, I've got my tray down here. I've got my mix tray, and as you know, before I put any seeds in, I always like to make my own mix up. I like to use a good multi-purpose compost, and I always add a bit sharp grit, or in this stage I've used vermiculite, because I'm going to plant my onions in here, but I want a good sharp mix. I want it nice and free draining. Reason being, I always set my seeds away in trays, and I'll show you upstairs. I've been granted the use of me loft upstairs for do some planting. I'm going to sow the large onions today, and hopefully get it uploaded within the next day or two. There's been loads of information online about people wanting to sow leeks and sow onions. Well, yeah, you don't really need much heat. I never really have it too warm. As I say, 50-55. Even in a cold greenhouse, if you want to start potting off, you want to start planting pot leeks, it's quite easy to do, and I'll show you over the next half hour how I let it go around with mine. As I say, you can plant them as long as you use just a couple of nice, easy techniques, nice and clean. Don't use any water out of the tanks, and good fresh compost, good seed. And if you've got a couple of polythene bags, it's always helpful to stick a bag over them, which will bring it up a couple of degrees inside your pot. And as I always say, mainly this time of the year it's your light. You need good light. Now, I've just stuck my light on this morning, mainly because I never see any sunshine between December and January. My garden's south facing, and unfortunately I'm behind my house, which I've commented in some of me videos beforehand, but what I like to do is put my light on for a good 12 hours a day. Now I've just put it on today. Now these leeks are going to come out of here within the next week or two. Hopefully if I can get some transport and get them taken up the allotment, and then I'll get the gas heater up the garden, and we'll get these. They don't need potting up yet. As I say, they're into that pot, so I'm quite happy with them. They're growing away nice and steady. These are a show leek. But I'm quite happy with them, even though it's been cold down here, 45, 50, they're ticking along. They're just the roots are just starting to come to the bottom of the pots, so I'm quite happy with them. I've got some blanch leeks over at the far side there. I've never grew blanch leeks before, not in the show. So this year I'm just going to see how I'll get on. As I say, I'm a wee bit behind this year with having my little accident, but hopefully we'll catch up. I'm quite happy with them at the moment. I'll not win any first prizes, but you know, I'll still be able to show 3 good leeks, and hopefully with Paul Rochester's leeks I'll see how these come on. I've been watching him online. He's got some fantastic ellies growing really great. So when I seen the size of his compared to the size of mine, I thought, yes, there's some definitely good techniques going today. I take my hat off to some of the growers nowadays. They really spend hours and hours and hours perfecting some of their strains, and hopefully next year, once I get back on my feet, I'll be able to get started again. But for this year, I'm looking forward to growing these Yorkshire Giants and see how we get on with them. So, as I say, I've made myself a little mix-up. I've got some sharp sand here. It's a good multi-purpose compost. And of course it's in a carrier bag, so I've only got one hand. My other hand's got to hold my crutch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this upstairs and we're going to get started sowing some giant onions. Okay, so I'll see you soon. Right, well that's getting some gear sorted out. Especially trying to get everything up here with one hand. But I think I've gotten it. I think I've gotten just about all I need. At the moment. Don't take any notice of him, he's just blabbering on in the background. I think he's on about the garlic, but that's an old one, as you know. Right. Okay, what I wanted to do today was to try and get some of the onions in. I've been down to the greenhouse, had a bit check on the leaks, put the light on for the first time this year. Not just a light, it's a heater, so it's gonna bring the temperature up in the greenhouse a little bit there, just a little bit higher. I'm up around about 55 mark, which I'm quite happy with. Reason being, I'm up here, it's getting a little bit tight in the dining room downstairs, and the wife hates us making a mess. So what I'm going to do, I've come upstairs into my attic. Of course, this is the nerve centre where I do all my recording and video blogs. So I've got myself a little table set up here, and I've managed to get some good compost brought up. If you're watching my Facebook page, my blog, I had a little visit from Dave the other day, and he kindly brought us down a few onions. So I'm going to start with them today. I'll get this spray out the way. Now, as I say, I've brought the compost up from downstairs in the greenhouse. And what I like to do, always use a good multi-purpose compost, and to that I like to add 2 in 1 of good sharp sand or vermiculite. I like to make it as light as I can. As you know, I always use trays, no holes in, and so it means that what I can do, I can water from the bottom. So all my trays, and I use a different size. As I say, I've gotten some seeds from Dave, and I think there's about a dozen in a packet, so one of these little containers are just perfect for the job. I've gotten one done here. I've filled it up, nice and level, tamp it down. It's had plenty of water from down below, so it's been soaking for the last hour, and they're nice and damp there now, so I'm well pleased with them. And all I like to do is just cut the fingers and just make a small indentation in the top of the compost. Quite happy with that. Make sure you wipe your hands off, because of course with your fingers being damp, the seed sticks to it a lot easier. So I've got me marker first. I get that in straight away, and of course these are Dan's onions, one of the lads on the internet, so I'm going to have to have a look at his, and Dave says he's a good grower, so I'm going to check him out. What I like to do is, when I get my onions, I like to put them on a piece of paper, just a piece of white paper. You can see them, and as I say, if your finger is a little bit damp, you can pick the seeds up quite easily. Now with a lot of my show onions, I like to sow them singly, just in single multi trays. Always have done. What I say is, I would like to do with some of the other varieties is I'm going to do a little test, because over the years I've never, so that's just fine. There's actually 13 in there, so I've got 2 in one station, a good baker's dozen, so I'm well pleased with them. I'll keep that paper handy, because I'm going to use it for the Harry Orton onions, which I sent away for, and there should be about 60 in there, so I'm going to get them out. Well pleased with them, and I think they're a Harry Lamb strain, so I'm well pleased with them. I've also got some good hills at Craig's from one of my friends, which will be going in tomorrow. I'll try and get started on these today, get these sown. As I say, I'm getting the ones in from Dave yesterday, and all they need now is just a little bit of compost over the tops. Now these are going to start up here in the loft. It's not too hot. There's no heat whatsoever up here, no radiators. All it's doing is taking the temperature from downstairs, bringing it up here, and I reckon it's around about the 50, between 50 and 60 up here, which is perfect. Now, all you that's just starting up, there's been loads of comments on the internet over the last few days, sowing leeks and sowing onions. Whereas a lot of people are sowing now, they're sowing for the shows. Because they like to get them in early because there's different shows throughout the year. So, as you've seen on the internet, some of the leeks and some of the onions are absolutely massive. But they've got to get them to that size because the certain shows are on different dates, and they plan ahead accordingly to the show so that they get as big as they can. If you're just growing for the home, if you're just growing, you want to try them out, there's nothing better than growing your own onions from seed. They're really easy. They're not a hard vegetable to grow. It's just there's a few little bits and pieces that I like to add before I even start setting my onions away. First thing is a good quality compost. Don't use second-hand compost or old compost from last year. Use it for your garden or your bed, your border, dig it in. Do not use it in your seed trays. Nice clean seed trays. I always like to use new ones from the pound shop. Pound stretchers anyway. They're cheap enough to buy and last for a couple of years. Nice clean trays. Good seed. That's a no-no for me. I never use second-hand seed. In the old days, you had a pack of seed, you rolled it up, took it in your pocket, and you put it away for the next day. No, they're cheap enough to buy nowadays. Get them away. What I'd like to do, when I get a packet of seed, I sow the whole packet. Whatever I've got left, I give away to friends, family. There's always people looking around, wanting seeds. There's always people starting up, don't know how to grow them. So I like to give away as much as I can, and that's where I've always done it. Years gone by. So as I say, a good compost, good quality seed. One of your main things is your water. I like to use fresh water straight out the tap, brought up the temperature. This has been sitting here all night. Or you can add just a bit of warm water. I know down the allotment it's going to be different. When you're on the plot, you kind of get hold of some water, but fill your watering can up and bring it in the greenhouse and let it come up to temperature. Do not use water out your barrels. I've always said that for years. People tend to just dip the watering can in and they think because it's nice fresh water or rainwater it's going to be okay. It's not. It's carrying all sorts of algae. It's got all sorts of moulds in, pathogens that's been harbouring over the last couple of months, been grown away. You water over your compost and that's a death knell for them, because all that's going to do, it's going to start them pathogens, the algae growing on top of your compost, and you're going to have you end up with a pig soup compost after a few weeks. So fresh water at all times, even if you've got to bring it from home. It's not too much water to do your seedlings. Get it up to temperature and water with nice fresh water. Even if you've got a tap on the allotment, fill your watering can up and put it in the greenhouse, bring it up to temperature, and they'll solve all your problems, all your heartaches. A couple of weeks down the line when these algae start growing, and of course your young seedlings are popping up, and it's a death knell for them. So that's definitely a no-no. So there we go, fresh water, fresh compost, good fresh seed, fresh water. Your main is your light. Now up here I'm not too bothered because I'm setting them away in the heat. They're going to be just growing away. Once they break surface, they're going to be downstairs in the greenhouse, back down home where there's plenty of light. I always say to everybody, if you're bringing seeds up in the house, get them up to the light. Get them on shelves. If they're in the greenhouse, get them up on the top shelf where there's plenty of light. There's nothing worse than letting your plants struggle in light. They'll end up leggy, small, weak, end up bending over, and that's when the diseases set in. And of course, one of the things I use to prevent against diseases is my old chamomile tea. Always used it. So what I've done, I've sowed the onions. The nice and damp compost has been soaking up its own water, and all I'll do now is just give a little spray across the top with some chamomile, and that'll just keep any diseases off. There'll be very few growing in there because, as I say, it's nice clean compost, it's nice fresh water. So there's Dan onions that I got off plus that Dave, they're in. Well pleased with them. So I'm just going to switch this tray over and I'm going to go on to the Harry Alton onions. As I say, this has been exactly the same. It's another tray again. It's there's plenty of water in the bottom there, and all this tray here is doing is just soaking it up from the bottom. So once again, I just let it go down. This is a tray of 40, and I've used these for about 20 years since they've been on the market. I think they're fantastic for onions. As I say, make sure your fingers are dry. 10, 20, 30. Yes, these are a tray of 40. Now there's a lot of controversy goes on about onions. A lot of people say that you must prick off at the crook stage. Now the crook stage is when the seed actually breaks surface. It comes out, it's a good inch high, and the top of the grown leaf is just on the up, just bending. It's what they call a crook stage. Now, to me, I've never potted my onions off. I've always grew them singly, so it's done away with the crook stage and the potting off. I like to get them up for a nice, steady size before I start thinking about potting up into cups. They've got a good root base on them, and I think that way they don't struggle. But what I'm going to do is, as I say, I'll take you through the onions right through the growing season. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pot, because I think I'll have enough here. If I remember rightly, when I ordered these seed, I think it was 60 for so many pounds. They seem a bit expensive to some people, but you know, if you want to have a go at them, by all means, it'll cost you a few quid. But it's once you've got the seed, you can save your own, which I'll be doing from these. I'll be growing them, and then I'll be saving an onion from these, and I'll be setting it away myself next year. And hopefully I'll get some good seed from it. But for the time being, I'm just going to plot on here and try and get this tray filled up. As I say, there's one in each station. That's all I need. Quite happy with that. There's going to be no overspill. Just trying to hear what he's on about here. He's busy potting off last year's winter bedding plants, which I've never seen this year or last year. As I say, I had my accident in November, so I've been missing from the allotment for 2 months to this week. So I've got a lot of making up to do. Just as well, Roger's up there. My brother Roger, he's been an absolute treasure. Been up every day, making sure everything's watered. Just keeping an eye on the tunnels. No doubt. I'll try and get up there this weekend. I was up at the hospital yesterday seeing the surgeon, and he's given us permission to start putting a little bit of weight on my foot. So, as I say, it's one step forward. So we're having permission to do that. I'm going to attempt to get up the garden. I'll get taken up by car, and hopefully picked up again by car. Right, so I've sown them, and on the left with about 10 seeds, so 40, so I reckon that's about 50 seeds, unless I've dropped a couple extra ones in there. So no, they're fine. As I say, seeds in, it's nice and moist. So what I'm going to do now is just a light spray of camelite tea over the top, catch them seeds. Maybe put a little bit more pressure in there. I'll get that out of the way first, then I know I've done it. As I say, if you're going to do one job, get it done cotton, and then it's out of the way. So there we are, the seeds are in, and these are the Harry Alton seeds. Are the Billy Lamb strain. They're a massive onion. So I'm hoping for some good ones from that. So that's that done. All I've got to do with that is just put a bit of compost over the top and put my marker on. So I have brought some extra pots up because I know I've got 2 varieties of onion that I've got about 50 or 60 seed. So what I'll do is I'll just put them on there. I think it's about, it looks about 10 onions here on there. I'm going to fill this pot up here, just up to the level, with a ½ inch into the pot. That's fine, and I'll put him in that tray with his water, and he'll just soak away there for another ½ an hour. With a bit of moisture on the top with the chamomile tea. Which is fine, as I say. There's water underneath there, so that'll just gently soak the water up. Okay, so my idea being, with the last remaining seeds I've got, I'm going to put them in this pot. Just gently separate them out around the pot. Just a small pot, you don't need a big one. And I'm gonna, there we are, that's them done. So the last 8 or 10 seeds that I had left, I'll put them in a small pot. So I'm gonna let them grow, same as what they will grow, exactly the same seed. I'll make sure they're marked. I'm gonna let these get their crook stage, and then I'm gonna pot them up. And I'm going to see what difference there is between them and them. And that's the only way to try it out. See how it works. If it's any better, and then I'll go back to that method next year. But you get nothing from not trying. As I say, don't be afraid to try anything. If you've got a better method, an easier method, by all means do it. But this is the way I like to sow my onions. As I say, they're up here now. They're going to be sitting up on the top here, up in the loft, for about a fortnight. 10 days they should start breaking the surface. Once they start breaking the surface, I'll fill my spray up again, another good fresh drink of chamomile tea, I'll give them a good soaking, and they'll go downstairs in the greenhouse into the heat. So hopefully that'll be a good starter for next year. So I'm going to leave it at that, and then hopefully tomorrow I'm going to get started on some pot leeks. So for the time being, bye for now. Okay.